Hi guys, thank you for joining Saturday Night Spooky Stories. This is gonna be our official first episode. So the basic idea was initially, the basic idea was is to share virtual campfire stories. Like if we were on a camp, we would be sitting around the fire and we'd be sharing few horror stories. So that was the basic idea which I had back in 2018, but things did not work out. So till then, the things were getting postponed later on. But thank you for pushing me. I guess it was Tarun who was pushing me on the meetup website, asking me to set up these things. So thanks for that. So hopefully, again, this is going to be a pretty informal session. And my initial idea was to set up a Telugu channel where people can come and share stories in Telugu. But again, I've seen people registering from other parts of the country as well. I've seen people who are from Delhi or from Mumbai and all these parts. So I guess we'll have to stick with English or whichever language you're comfortable with. So I guess you can talk in Hindi as well if you're comfortable with. If not, we can go with English as well. So again, this is not a formal meeting as such. This is more like a virtual fire camp session where you can just share your stories if you have. And let's all be open-minded. We are not judging anyone over here. We are not telling, okay, we believe in ghosts or we believe in supernatural. It's just for fun. We are
Yeah.
just having fun. So yeah, let's get started. So who wants to go first? Does anyone have a nice story to share?
Spooky story
Sorry?
only spooky stories.
Yeah, anyone. I mean, if you've got any nice horror stories to start with.
Story should be from our side, or if we hear from
Anything,
anyone,
if
it's
anything, the things which you've heard, any nice story which you've heard. It doesn't have to be your own experience. It can be your parents, your
yeah.
friends, or it is some urban legend which you've heard. We're just sharing stories.
Movies,
Get into a mood, thinking that we are sitting in a campfire and we're just sharing our stories. Whatever we heard.
Yeah.
are movies okay?
Yeah.
Spooky movies.
Okay.
Anyone watch?
Do you wanna start your videos, guys? If you want to, are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, okay, from my side. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so whoever wants to get started can go ahead and start with a good story. Doesn't have to be good. A story at least.
Have anyone watched Scream 6 movie?
No, I haven't. I haven't even seen the first movie. So I've seen the what do we call the other one? The spoof of it.
Aha,
Uh-huh.
scary movie.
Scary movie. Yeah, I haven't seen the actual Scream where Drew Barrymore has acted. Right, the first part, I guess.
Ah,
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of that movie. Not really that much. I'm not into slashers. I'm more into horror. I'm not into slashers as such.
okay.
Yeah.
Horror means series also or only movie?
I watch everything which is horror. I like horror. So again, it has to be spooky enough. It doesn't. I mean, there are movies I mean, Conjuring was good. Annabelle wasn't that great. So if the movies are
Sinister?
nice, I
But we
remember
have a movie.
which
We
movie.
have a movie from Bollywood side. It is much more horror than the Conjuring 2. It's a movie called Darna Zaroori hai.
Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Archie, is it the one where Darna Zaroori, or is it the one where in the initial where the guy
Yeah.
carries change in his pocket, right? Is this the one?
Yes,
Is
yes,
that
yes.
that is a really scary sequence? The initial during the titles, if you remember.
Yeah. And also one of the Hollywood movie that is a wrong turn.
Wrong
Yeah, it
turn
is also one
again.
of
I don't.
It's a slasher.
It's a slasher and it's more of a gore kind of movie. I don't
yeah.
consider it as a horror. It's like cannibalism. It's more of cannibalism.
Yeah, it's cannibalism.
Yeah.
Anyone watched Malignant?
Sorry, which one?
Malignant.
Uh, I guess not. I don't remember. I know the name, but I don't remember watching that movie.
It's actually a
Uh,
two-faced kind of story actually. Twins should be born, but they are attached to each other.
Oh, the recent one on Netflix. Yes, yes, I've seen that. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they've shot it as horror movie. Then later on, it turns out to be a suspense thriller kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that. I guess, yeah, I've seen that.
So what about Evil Dead?
Evil Dead.
That was
Evil Dead,
class.
right?
That slash
No, that was a classic back in our childhood. I
classic.
mean, it
Yeah,
used to be fun. It used to be scary, at least in
in
initial
that
times
time,
when we were at that time. But now
it's all
it's
fun.
more of a spoof kind of movie. I mean, the recent they remade the movie as well, Evil Dead, but it wasn't that great. It was the same story though, but it wasn't that great too.
I even watched the series Ash vs Evil Dead.
So I think
Yeah, even I watched it. Even I watched it. Ash versus Evil Dead. Even that was kind of really funny. It wasn't really scary at all.
Mm.
Yeah.
more than movies, we have Indian some serials which are more fearful than these movies. It's,
Ahat.
Ahat, yes, that was very
Your
fearful.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ahat, Vikral
and
Gabru.
yeah, Vikral Gabru is like childhood thing,
Oh,
but
उसको ही है
Ahat
क्या?
is
Oh, that उसको ही है, no? Vikral Gabru is उसको ही है.
Ishko, yeah, that is also somewhat dangerous. But Ahat was very so much horror. Even if you watch now in like 12 p.m., everyone is sleeping out there and no one's out there. You will definitely fear that movie. There's an episode in that that's a train episode that's really horrific. Even if you see now, you'll fear. That's very horrific.
Oh.
Ahat.
Yeah, Ahat.
Where should we
Uh,
watch that? Which
you can
OTT
watch it.
platform?
YouTube, Ahat. I mean, it's a pretty old. I mean, back in
Yeah,
95 or 94. I mean, if you guys are, I mean, I guess most of you are Telugu, right? I guess Tarun and Krishna. I presume you
Huh.
guys are Telugu. If you remember
Yes.
Anveshitha back in our time, uh, I'm hoping you're of my age. So if not, if you heard of the serial called Anveshitha, Ahat is on the same basis. Anveshitha was a really cult serial back in my childhood.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anveshitha.
Anveshitha.
Well,
Oh, I mean, I mean, I can give you suggestions back, and there were a couple of really terrific cult horror serials. Both were in. One was in ETV, and one was. I mean, if this is for Telugu guys, one was in ETV
yeah,
and one was in Gemini. One is called Anveshita, and another one was called Tulasidalam. Tulasidalam is a story, a book written by Yendamuri Virendranath, and then it was later. What do we call and it was then incorporated or what do we call it was like converted into a serial, so that
The
was
more joined.
sorry.
Two more joined.
Yeah. Hey guys, hello. There's another Tarun. Who is this other Tarun? Hello, hi man.
Hi.
hi bro. Is there
Yeah.
anything
Oh, I
something
was.
to share from your side?
Thank you for joining. Welcome to the first session of Saturday Night Spooky Stories. This is the first session, so I can't even remember the name myself, so please bear with me. So
Yeah. So I was waiting from long time to like to have this session. Like I was uh, trying to be in contact with this kind of people who believe in some supernatural things.
yeah,
So I
I
was
mean,
searching, so I got.
I I wouldn't say I believe. I want to believe. I haven't really experienced anything. I haven't really experienced anything supernatural. I want to believe, but I'm really fascinated in listening to such stories when someone says that, oh, I've seen this, I've seen something in the dark, or I felt something touching me or holding me. I feel all those things fascinating. Though it sounded wrong, yeah, but I feel all the I like listening all these like to listen all these what do we call stories. So whenever I used to go on camping with friends, I used to first start the session saying that whenever we have a campfire, we used to have a campfire. Guys, come sit and
Yeah.
let's all have a nice ghost story session. So that was the basic idea. I want to do the same thing virtually though.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Uh, so, uh, so you watch Hollywood movies? Like most of the horror movies are from Hollywood. Like Telugu ones are not that good compared to Hollywood ones. Masuda is good.
No, dude. No, no. I guess you are all and I wouldn't say millennials. I guess you're 22, 25 at max.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
21.
Yeah, okay, then you wouldn't know. There are cult movies in Telugu which you guys didn't even know of. There is a movie called
Ah,
Kashmora. That was acted by
I watched one.
Kashmora.
Rajendra Prasad.
Exactly. That was a
Rajendra
great
Prasad.
movie you can watch. Again, RGV's Deyam, RGV's Marichettu. Marichettu is
Shakespeare.
Vastu
Yeah,
Shastra.
yeah, yeah.
Vastu.
Marichetu. That's a movie wherein hands come from the wall like this.
That's Deyam.
So
That was very scary at that time.
that's Sayyam. And
Really scary.
Ratri movie was Ratri, the old
Yeah,
one.
Ratri. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ratri.
Back then we
So
used to have good, nice horror movies, but all the horror movies now have become what do we call
yeah,
that? Uh,
dramatic.
no, not even dramatic. They've become more like rom-com. They become horror comedies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Horror
They're
comedies.
they're no longer scary.
Yeah,
So actually, Fear Files was far better than digital horror movies. Fear
Fear
Files,
files. Ahahat,
yeah.
kuch koi hai. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
really
what I
scary.
I
was.
don't remember. Yeah, there were some serials from ETV or something. They used to be
Anveshitha.
horror, like when first it, yeah, I guess so, but I don't remember like exact story. But I remember some scenes. Maybe
I guess
that.
Anveshitha is available on YouTube. You can always go watch. Anveshitha was a cult Telugu serial. If you guys are into it, you can watch it. Maybe now you might find it a bit funny, but back then in my childhood, that used to be shit scary. There used to be a character called Kabish. We were all scared of Kabish. Kabish is the guy who used to sit on the top of a wardrobe. He used to sit there. He used to have a weird face with all the scary stuff and everything. As
Teenage kid.
kids, sorry,
Nothing, nothing.
yeah. So that one, Kabish was one, and the other one was Tulasidalam. Tulasidalam. That is what I was saying before you guys joined. I don't
Is that a horror? The
Tulasidalam. Yes,
Tulsidalam.
Tulasidalam is more of a the same Kashmora movie which we were guys were mentioning about. That was actually converted into a serial. It was a big serial. Again, Tulasidalam was also a really scary series.
So you know this
Hmm.
Ushko is from this.
Star Plus, Usko Ye
Yeah,
Hai. Yeah, there were a couple of
that
nice episodes in Star Plus.
that one was good and this Ahahat and this all
Hut.
things. Again, what Sinister from Hollywood.
Is it a series or a movie?
No, it's just a movie. Like it doesn't have any movie series, but it's world's most scariest movie.
Sinister.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't. I remember watching Sinister. I don't remember vaguely, but yeah, I don't find Sinister that scary. But if you guys have watched Hereditary,
Yeah, even I
Hmm.
haven't watched any like it wasn't scary, but people are saying like it's the most scariest movie.
That's
Even
a
I
movie
didn't like.
scene. That's a movie scene in YouTube. Uh, I don't know its name exactly, but it's a short 1 minute video. It has no mean. I mean, no talking. Just only like
lights out.
Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I think that was really scary. Even if you, I watched it just recently, like 6 months back. That was the scariest part without any speaking. Yeah, he has some ears like this coming out.
Oh,
Yeah, correct.
there are many such channels, man. There is I mean the movie Lights Out. If you have seen few video, you might have
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
some
I saw.
video. He actually started his career making those short films. Whenever a girl tries to sleep and whenever she switches off the lights, she sees a figure at the door, and whenever she turns off the light, she doesn't see it. So something like that sort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Later on, he became a director and he directed the movie Lights Out. He was given a chance because of those things.
There are some disturbing videos in YouTube which are more scarier than movie.
Oh, Nuke's Top 5. You're talking about Nuke's Top 5. You'll have to watch Nuke's Top 5. You'll find many disturbing videos on that.
Yeah, that are very
So
scarier
where are
than the movies.
okay, so where are you guys from? I'm from Hyderabad.
Me too,
I'm
Hyderabad.
from
Hyderabad
Mehandipur.
mix.
You, Krishna Vamshi Kesani, where are you from?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Everyone is
Uh,
from Hyderabad.
So actually, why don't we go for some ghost hunt? If you guys are free, like sometime we'll try to go.
Huh?
that's I guess that's way too early right now. Maybe I mean yeah, we can always, but again we'll have to first we get to know each other first. Let's form a
Get to know each
group.
other first.
Let's form a
Yeah.
group completely, and then like we can go for it. And again, there are no many. Most of the places which were kind of given haunted. You might have seen this, heard the story of Kundan Bagh. It was a story made up
Yeah,
by the realtors to buy that house. So the couple who wanted to, there was an old couple who were living in that house. So the thing happened was there were apartments came around that house. It was Kundan Bagh was in somewhere in Banjara Hills or so. It was
yeah,
all the other real estate guys have bought the other houses and they've built apartments over there. So this old couple weren't selling their houses. So what they've done is they've created a story. They've started throwing stones on their house, and they've started created ruckus so that they wanted to push those old couple out. So they wanted to force them out and buy that house. So I guess that this was discussed in TV9 as well. It was a made
yeah.
up story. Kundan Bagh was a made up story.
Yeah. Do you know this
But
place? Like, it is Shamshabad Fort. Like, there is a some old fort. Like, it's scary, kind of scary.
I guess I've seen the recent one. I guess I've seen on Instagram recently. There was a fort, unexplored fort, करके they were showing
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
somewhere near Shamshabad, unexplored fort, scary place करके. Yeah, I've seen that on Instagram too.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, before
very,
even
I
that,
don't.
sorry, yes,
I
Yeah,
got I got some story. My
please,
grandfather's story.
please go ahead.
Uh,
So one second. So anyone who's not talking can all go on mute. Let's give who is it? Krishna Vamsi.
Parvez.
okay.
Parvez is let's give Parvez this time. He let him narrate the story, and we can come back.
This is not a story. It's a real one. Uh, what my grandfather in his village. One day he was coming from the village to town in the nights. So that village, while coming that distance, that path, there are many some incidents. There was many some incidents where they saw some people having their legs backside turned, and their body when they touch it, it is so soft as cotton. This is a real incident. This is not a story. So one day my grandfather was coming from the village to the town. It was night like 11 o'clock, 11:30. So he was coming just casually with his Luna. At that time, like 20, 30 years back, there was no such good motorcycles over there. So he was coming like that, and he saw someone running back over him. It was 11:30, and he did not know what is this. So he stopped and asked, "Who is that?" So that person who was talking with my grandfather, she said directly to like that, "My, I am actually dead, and I am buried over here some far away. So I struggle the people who come here and pass nearby." So my grandfather actually saw their legs were turned backside. If you see their faces, it will look like a normal human beings. But if you see their down legs, their legs will be turned backside. And when you touch their body, it will be so soft. So my grandfather happened like this for 3 or 4 times. Uh, but the thing is, he really not feared. So I think it's not a good horror story, but that was somewhat horrific. I think so.
Yeah, at least for him, it should have been really scary during
Yeah,
the thing.
definitely. It should have really scary.
So yeah,
I think we should make some stories from creative side. We should create some own stories and try to make it as horrific as possible.
don't have to,
I
man. I
think
mean, we can just share our stories. See, I guess our grandfathers. If you, I guess you might all agree that we might have heard this one common story from our grandfather or anyone from our relatives or our friends, like saying that I was going somewhere on my cycles, a lady has asked for a
Yeah,
lift. I gave her a lift and she sat behind me, and since then I couldn't pedal the cycle properly. The cycle was going pretty slow. It has become really heavy. Have you
yeah.
guys heard this story? It is a pretty common story. I might have heard it with three of my relatives, I mean elder relatives, two from my both my grandfathers and from my uncle. You might have heard the same story too. This is one common story every grandfather might have told
Yeah.
every grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
There's a
So
story.
I don't have, so I don't personally have any experiences or anything, but from childhood, I personally was interested in such kind of things, this supernatural kind of things. So I was doing research. Whenever I meet friends or relatives used to ask, "Do you have scary stories with you?" So they used to just share their stories or experiences. So I only have those experiences or stories based kind of thing. I personally don't have any my own experiences.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you can always share your experience. I mean, whatever you know, you have heard from your friends.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually heard this story from one of my brother. So it's not his story, but it's like somewhat he heard in his friend circle. So there is a village in Warangal. So there is a happy couple got married. The husband is like he's into army. So the husband is into army and he went for his camp, like for a year camp or somewhat like that. So the love couple happily got married, but uh, what do you say? This husband's father didn't accept the marriage. So I don't know whether I'm framing the sentence properly or not, but I'm trying to convey my story as
No problem, no problem. I mean, if you want, you can talk in Telugu as well. I guess most of us are Telugu. I mean, is there anyone who doesn't understand Telugu here?
I don't. I'm from Delhi. I speak Hindi and English.
Okay, then yeah, we've got one other state friend as well. So yeah, maybe you can
he,
continue in Hindi or English. That's okay.
तो मैं ये सुना था कि like देयर वाज कपल हैप्पीली मैरिड गॉट मैरिड तो उसकी माँ को पसंद नहीं था वो शादी वो एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं था वो शादी so the son went to the camp so what the mother-in-law did was like she what do you say I was I'm not getting proper words so I'll share my story sorry sorry sir story after some time like I'm not finding some proper words.
No, tell the word. Maybe we can. Someone will help us. Tell it in Telugu. Will someone will help us, and I can go with it.
Okay. तो उसको जला दिया था like the wife sorry
Sasuma,
I'll
you
speak
mean to
after
say
some
the?
time.
It's okay, dude. It's okay. Chill, chill. This is not a meeting. We're all friends talking. So you mean to say
Yeah, yeah,
the mother-in-law has burned her daughter-in-law alive because she did not like
yeah, yeah,
but she did not like her son getting married to some other girl. So yeah, she
yeah,
committed a murder. Yeah, okay.
yeah. She buried herself like the dead body in her own house only.
Oh shit. Okay.
So उसको दफन कर दिया yeah, उसको दफन कर दिया उनके खुद के घर में और they were like she was not troubling that mother-in-law but she was troubling the villagers like the village boundaries are very small. So whoever used to pass that village, she used to sit on like behind them, and she used to share this whole story.
Oh.
Nobody used to believe her. Like my mother-in-law, buried me alive. Like what do you say, जला दिया मेरे को bury कर दिया मेरे घर के अंदर. So nobody used to believe her. Like some uncle, she know, like he believed her, and he somehow gained a trust and said that I'll go and check out, but he didn't like उसने बोला था कि मैं चेक कर लूंगा पर वो चेक नहीं करा.
Does anyone have any other stories?
So well, I think we can go with the movies. Has anyone saw any horror movie recently? It's a horror movie, not a horror, but somewhat kind of horror from Telugu side only that movie, and it is one of the top movies now presently.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about this one, Masuda.
No, it's Kantara.
Con. Okay, I don't want to create any kind of trouble here. Okay, fine. That's not even horror, and it wasn't that scary. I mean, yeah, there were only a couple of instances.
As
Oh,
skeptical.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's stick to horror. Let's stick to horror and any horror movies or any horror stories. Let's
Masuda
not.
far better. Yeah, Masuda was far better than this Kantara. Far, far better.
Let's not create any kind of controversies. This is gonna go onto the YouTube.
So,
Yeah. But let's not talk about movies. Let's don't compare movies. Let's don't say which movie was better, which movie was bad. All the movies are good. All the movies are bad. Let's leave it there. Let's say let's talk about horror stories. If you've heard any stories, if you got any stories heard from your friends, or if you got any experiences, do share.
like you share you if you got like
I had a couple of I mean, I don't even know whether to call it a horror or anything. So there were these couple of incidents that have happened a couple of years back. So me and my wife, we were sleeping in the house, in my bedroom. So it's my parents are in the master bedroom. We were sleeping in our bedroom. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had our lunch. We gone back to our rooms. We were taking an afternoon nap. It was on a weekend, so we were taking an afternoon naps. So we were watching TV in our room. My parents were sleeping in their room. It was around 3 o'clock or so. I've heard 3 knocks on my door. Me and my wife, both of us have heard it. 3 knocks on the door. Tuck 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 करके 3 knocks सुनाई दिया. मैंने सोचा कोई मेरे पापा बुला रहे होंगे करके. I've gone out of the couch. I tried to open the door. In the meantime, my father also was trying to push the door. I opened the door. My father was standing outside. He was like, why are you knocking the door? I was like, no, I wasn't knocking the door from. I thought you were knocking the door from outside, so I tried to open it. He said, no, I've heard. He was sitting in the hall watching the. I thought he was sleeping, but he was sitting in the hall watching the TV. Then he said, no, I was sitting here. I've heard 3 knocks. I thought you were door might have got stuck or something, so you were knocking from inside. I was like, no, I thought you were trying to call us from outside, so you might have knocked the door. It was 3 clear knocks like this. It wasn't like we had the windows were all closed. There was no there's no way to air to pass from the windows to the other room. So it was clearly unexplainable. Why? We don't know what has happened. So that was one incident. This happened in 2019 or 2020, I guess. So later on, so I guess we might have got some of the other kind of DTH in our house, Airtel or Tata Sky or whatever, Sun Next or whatever we got, right? So if you know, when we turn on these things, right? We don't directly away go to the channel which we want to see, but rather we'll go to the default channel which these guys provide, like channel 99. For Airtel, it is channel 99. For I guess for Tata Sky, it is some other thing. So where you see all the ads, these Airtel ads and all this kind of stuff. So so one afternoon we've all gone to a movie, I guess, in the house. So we turned off the TV. As far as we remember, we turned off the TV. It was so that morning we were watching Gemini music all the time. So afternoon we've gone out for lunch and we've gone to the movie after that. So that's a general routine anyone would do when you go out of your house, right? We turn off all the lights, we turn off all the appliances and everything. So we've done the same thing. We turned off the TV, we turned off the setup box and everything. We've gone out. So by the time we came back, the TV was on, the setup box was on, and the weird part was, if this by mistake, even if we have left out the setup box on, it should have been the default channel. Sometimes if you leave the setup box on for a really long time, the default channel turns up, the channel 99 turns up. It'll show you the ads. But that day it was Gemini music was being played on. That was kind of unexplainable again. Even if I forgot switching off the TV, even if I forgot switching off the what do we call the setup box, even if someone turned it on, but even it got turned it on by itself, since it was on standby for a while, it should have gone to channel 99. But it has gone to a proper channel which we were watching earlier. But we clearly remember we not switching on, switching off, or switching on any of these things. So these were the two incidents. This happened twice, I guess. This
So
channel thing
both the
happened twice.
so both the incidents happened in the same house.
In the same current house which I'm living in.
Oh, great, nice experience.
Yeah. So again, we did not have any kind of any reasonable explanation towards us. The door knocking, maybe there could be a vent gushing from the bathroom. So we have there's a bathroom right beside the door, attached bathroom. So, but the bathroom door is not
Yeah.
open. So maybe there's a vent coming through it, through the peepholes or through the holes. But it again, there were 3 proper knocks. It wasn't a door banging on itself. If the you can always clearly differentiate the sound between door banging and door knocking. It was 3 clear knocks on it, and this TV was so completely out of our explanation. Even if we have left the TV on standby, even if we have left the set-top box on standby, this default channel should have come there. It should have been channel 99. But I don't know. I guess the ghost in my house likes listening to music. So that's what we joke about it sometimes. So these were a couple of experiences or incidents that happened in our house. Again, these were quite recent. Happened in 2021 and 2020.
So do you believe in agoris or some kind of like black magic kind of stuff?
If you want to, I don't know, but yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about these people saying they've seen it. Well, I haven't really heard and experienced, or I haven't seen anything happen to any of my relatives as well. But yeah, there is one story. The thanks of which you reminded, Tarun. So this happened back in my childhood. So I was in my 3rd standard or 4th standard. So my mother's sister lives in a place called Kakinada. So they live in railway quarters. So my uncle is a engine driver. So for one of the summer holidays, I've gone there. So they used to no, they were not living in quarters by then. They were living in somewhere nearby. So they used to rent. They rented out a house. The house was like a it was like what do we call portions kind of thing. It was the front veranda. After that, they've got a proper hall. Then you have a bedroom. Then you have a kitchen, and there's a back open area, back veranda. So this isn't set up in old villages. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I guess since most of you are from Andhra and Telangana, you might have heard such kind of, you might have seen such kind of houses. So this was the house. So there were 2 portions in compartment wise. So each portion has three compartments: hall, bedroom, kitchen, hall, bedroom, kitchen, and there's a common area at the back and common area at the front. So during on one afternoon, I was playing around with my cousins and all. So a couple of guys came in. They came to my aunt's place, and they said they're gonna. They were dressed up like these fortune tellers. Like in Telugu we say koidoralu. I don't know what do you call them in Hindi or English. So जो लोग आते हैं saffron पहन के इधर bird के feathers रख के, they come and tell you about your future, what is going to future be like. They're from hill stations and stuff. So these a couple of guys came in. The house owner's daughter-in-law, she's a North Indian. She also came on a summer holiday to her in-laws place. So there she was also there. My aunt and her daughter-in-law, they both sat together, and they showed their hands, and they've got their fortune told by these 2 folks. So after everything has happened, these guys have given our aunt and that other lady 2 talismans. So, and they've asked them to keep them under pillow for this day, and then tie to your hand the next day. So they've given some instructions to do it. It was all fine. Then that afternoon went off. It was all fine. It was a normal day till the evening. After playing for a while, I took a nap for a while. I woke up to weird shouting, I've heard loud shoutings and stuff. It was kind of scary. So I was just scared. I wasn't understanding what was happening around. My aunt and my cousins were running here and there. They were kind of really tensed, and they were pacing into the other rooms. They were going to the other house, to the owner's house, and coming back. I didn't know what was happening. I asked my aunt what has happened. She said nothing has happened. You go sleep or you go watch TV. Well, since I was curious, I just wanted to see what has happened. I've gone out. I've gone to the owner's house. So the lady who I still get goosebumps whenever I think of it, and whenever I tell this and narrate to someone. The daughter-in-law, the lady who also got this for fortune told by, she was literally sitting. She was sitting uh, in the lotus position, like the way we sit. She was sitting in the lotus position. She had her hair open, and she had a big tilak on her forehead, and उसको ऊपर माता चढ़ गई है. So she was sitting, she was shaking like this, and she was shouting at everyone, saying that go through the talismans that were given to you. Those guys are not good. They were doing black magic on you. They were trying to kill you guys. So and all this stuff. So as a kid, when I've looked at her, it was shit scary, man. My aunt and her mother-in-law, they were all scared. They were all trying to calm her down. So they were putting buckets of turmeric water on her. They were asking to calm her down. They were praying for her. I got scared. I was looking at her. I got scared. I started crying. My elder cousin took me in. He gave me a blanket. I went and I sat on the bed. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I've gone into the puja room. I've taken the ash, the vibhuti, and I've applied it all over my body. I've applied it completely on my body, and I was scared, and I was crying there. Then my uncle came in the evening. On the night, my uncle came in. He looked at me and asked, "What is that? Why are you sitting like a devil towards the corner of the bed?" Then my aunt stopped him. Don't say the word devil now. He's all scared. Don't scare him more. So the thing is that the lady, whoever got possessed or whoever uske upar mata chhad gaya, jiske upar mata chhad gayi hai, she is a huge devotee of Durga Mata, and whenever she gets into trouble, Durga Mata comes on her and she'll try to protect her, it seems. So that has happened. So these guys, the guys who came in, right? They given the talismans who were given by which were given by them were done by black magic, and they were given to my aunt and my that other lady to take them over, wash karne ke liye, and then sacrifice them for the evil purpose. So that was the reason to stop that thing. Mata uske upar aayi hai, and she has asked her to throw away those talismans. So this has happened. Yeah. Sorry if my narration is bad.
No, it's a complete great story.
Yeah, this is one story which I had as a kid. Again, this was something I was so scared to see a woman sitting like this. She was a fair lady. I have a vague image of her. This was back in my third standard. She was a fair lady. She was a healthy, fair lady. She was wearing a white sari, and the white sari was all drenched with this turmeric, and it had turned yellow. And she had her hair loose. She had this big tilak on her forehead. Damn, man, that's when I realized, okay, people can get scared looking at a devil as well as God at the same time. Anything could be scary. Yep, that was my story.
Yeah. So did any of you guys ever tried the spirit game or something like that?
Sorry. Sorry, Tarun, I've muted you. I was trying to mute me and I muted you. I'm sorry. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, no worries. So my question was like, did any of you guys play like spirit game or something like that? Never tried.
I mean, I did try it once, but nothing has happened. We tried it in our relative's house. Nothing came up, so we threw the papers and we bought something with the coin. Nothing much but that. Come on, guys, any more stories? Hello? Guys, you guys have gone on. Everyone has gone on mute. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Anyone has got any more stories?
I don't. I am enjoying listening to you all.
Nothing. You haven't heard anything from any of your friends?
There's only one story that I remember from my childhood. I think I was around 15 years old or 14. I can't really remember. So we went on a trip to Jaipur, and from there were like two families. So we went on a trip to Jaipur, and I think there's this place called Mehandipur, and there's a very popular temple over there named Balaji. Mehandipur ke Balaji. So it is believed to be like, I think it's believed to be the only temple where exorcism takes place in India. There could be more, but I
Yeah.
feel
This is a quite famous temple, Mehandipur Balaji.
Mehandipur Balaji. Yeah.
You're not allowed to
So
take your phones and camera there.
no, we're supposed to, I don't remember because
Yeah.
at that time I did not have phone.
Yeah.
So we reached there like we were right outside the temple at 2:00, but the queue was like way too long. It was Tuesday, and the temple opens up at 7:00, 6:30 or 7:00 in the morning. And generally when you enter into a temple, you hear the sound of the bells, but there you just hear the screams of men and women and children too. And I remember, it's just a blurred vision that I would say, that I literally saw men, women, and even children banging their heads on pillars. And there was this one woman who was she was, I don't know how, but she was carrying a big rock on her feet. I don't know how she was doing that. It kind of gave me goosebumps though. But one more thing is that like the moment you enter into the temple, you cannot look back. You cannot turn back. No matter who calls out your name from the back, they just say that those are the spirits who call out your name, and the moment you turn back, you'll get possessed. So that's what they say. And I remember, though nobody called out my name, but yeah, I was with my family. We entered, and there are like different chambers over there where people are chained. I believe those are the ones who are possessed. And then I like darshan. You know what darshan is, right? The moment you enter into the main area of the temple. So it's a Hanumanji's temple, by the way. And I saw a couple of Muslim guys who were also possessed, and they were there, which was quite shocking to see. And then after exiting from there, there's a huge hall where Kirtan takes place. And there I saw this very old woman, like she was very old, and she was also possessed by some spirit, and she was dancing like crazy. At that time I found it funny because I really didn't know what exactly was happening around. But years later, when I Googled, I actually came to know what I experienced. So it was very spooky, like really scary.
So
that's
you've
one
actually seen what do we call it? A possessed person then?
Okay, so yeah, I have, but at that time I thought they have some mental disorders. That's what I thought.
Hysteria, yeah.
Yeah. Because you were over there, the people, like adults along with children, they were chained to big rocks, and they were being beaten up by the pandits. I think it's a practice that is like being followed every day to just ward off the multiple evil spirits around, like in the body and around. That's what I feel. But yeah, like Because later I realized, oh, oh my goodness, there were like so many evil spirits around me when I entered into the temple. But yeah, that's my experience. That's the only experience I've had so far.
Did you not hear anyone calling out your name there?
No, not at all. But I was told not to look back no matter. So my mommy was like right behind me, and she told me, no matter what happens, do not look back. And I was actually enjoying to be honest, I was enjoying the view. I was like, oh wow, I've never seen something like this before, because nobody told me about it. I did not know much about exorcism and all, because the only ghosts, like I thought that the evil spirits look like the ones we see on TV.
Yeah.
Ahahat, koi hai, and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but years later, I think that was what. I mean, those were all evil spirits inside them.
True.
So,
When that age, when you're teens, adolescents, you really don't. Nothing really matters. God, devil, you can. Anything comes in front of you, you're ready to deal with it. That is adolescence, I guess, for us. But I guess, yeah, I'm not really sure if it is the same area, but Scoop Whoop wala channel, I guess Scoop Whoop, I guess the channel name is SCOOPWHOOP. So I guess they were trying to cover this channel. So they were trying to spy into that temple, Mehandipur Balaji temple, the Hanuman temple you're talking about. So that's why I'm mistaking it for a different temple though. But there is one such temple where people aren't allowed to take mobile phones for cameras. No one is allowed, but the people get exhausted there, exercise there, or what do we call exercise? Possessed people will be.
Oh, exorcism. Exorcism happens there.
Yeah, exorcisms happens there. Yes, I guess it is the same temple. So people try to what do we call spy in using cameras, and they've released a couple of videos on that, and how they were trying to show that this is all fake and everything. But again, it's all individuals' belief. We can't really say what is fake and what is this thing. But yeah,
right.
There are other future places as well. I've heard there is one nearby Hyderabad as well. There was one other. Kandapur, yes, yeah.
Kandapur.
What is it called?
Kandapur Dattatreya Temple.
Kandapur Dattatreya Temple, yeah.
So exorcism takes place there as well?
Exactly, yes.
You may search it in YouTube.
I don't have the guts to go to such temples anymore. That time I was a kid and I wasn't informed about all these things. So I went, but no. I'm very weak at heart. I might just collapse.
It's just we need to stay strong. That's it. Like we need to be ready to face anything.
I mean, it's not about ready to be. I mean, at least in my case, right? I'm okay. Anything coming in front of me, maybe I'll take it if it is right in front of me. Even if it is a devil, I might be scared. I'm not saying I'm a macho kind of guy, can go fight with it. I'm okay if it is coming in front of me. I'll be scared. I'll be pissing my pants even then. But I'll be very scared, or my heart will stop when something comes behind me if it is a sudden shock. So when I'm too scared, when I'm alone, right? When I'm too scared. That's what I try to do. I try to shout out saying, okay, dude, if there's someone around, don't come from behind, come from front of me. Let's talk. That's what I try to do when I'm too scared. I used to do whenever I was alone, when I was a bachelor. So I used to do that. I used to be prepared about, so I want to be prepared. So any more stories, Sagar, Parvez, Agrawal?
Well, I have a question over here.
Sure.
What if someone is raised without getting to know about fear? I mean, no ghost story, no telling about the religions or mythology or whatever, not at all anything about fear. If he has grown some adult, will he fear in alone, in dark?
Maybe not dark, but he'll be scared of something. Not dark though.
He don't know what scare is. He never heard what the fear is, what scare is. He
He
just
might never heard, but he might be faced like might be faced or felt the feeling. Everyone has that fear feeling in some or the other.
yeah, it could be another from like from an employee, the boss. He could fear that he's taking out from if he did not perform well. That's a type of fear or fear from the jumping, but not from the fear of the ghosts or any demons.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, if you do you guys see? Have you seen BuzzFeed Unsolved? Now they've opened a channel called Watcher themselves. It's Ryan and Shane and Ryan. Have you guys heard this channel called BuzzFeed Unsolved? If not, watch it. There is a channel called BuzzFeed Unsolved where a couple of guys called Ryan Bagara and Shane. So the guy who's called Shane. So it's set up in such a way that Ryan is a guy who believes in supernatural, and Shane is a guy who doesn't believe in supernatural. So Ryan is pretty much scared of anything, and Shane is not. So, and I guess Shane is not faking. So, Parvez, to answer your question, this guy really, right? They've taken him to a scary house. We might have gone to a scary house at some point of the time in our life, right? So they've taken him to a scary house. This guy was literally not shaken. Anyone who has gone to that scary house, to any scary house, the jump scares are pretty much happens with everyone, and everyone gets startled, right? But this fellow was quite chilled out. He was just going. He completed this entire scary house trip pretty easily, and he came out and he wasn't scared. And there was another on BuzzFeed. So there's another channel called BuzzFeed, which is a main head channel of it. So there was one video in which they tie up the participants, they blindfold the participants, and they'll ask to find out what is in front of it. And finally, I guess they're trying to promote a movie, and a joker comes in right beside them. So when they try to open the blindfolds, they see a joker in front of him. Everyone who took part in that activity got scared except this guy called Shane. He took out his blinds. He saw that person. He was like, "Hi." He wasn't even scared, at least a bit. So maybe he could be one such example, Parvez. Look into this guys, Shane and Ryan, BuzzFeed Unsolved. Now they came out of BuzzFeed. Now they've opened their own channel called Watcher, WATCHER. So these guys are fun too. You can watch them. They go to all haunted places. They've got a really nice setup. They've got all the equipments, all the pseudoscience equipment with them.
Protected by a dragon.
You know, and I am suddenly here for this. I know, right?
Hello.
On the other hand, dragon, marry.
Okay. Yeah, Parvez, maybe you can look into it.
yeah, that comes to a conclusion that we are conditioned like that from
Maybe.
childhood. Yeah, definitely.
So any more stories from any one of you guys? Guys? Hello. Does anyone want to speak out? Okay, we're closing by. We're on the last 10 minutes. So we want to end it on a good story. Does anyone have a nice story to share? Hey, bro. Hi, Harish. You got a story to share? Guys, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we don't have any more stories. Like we can discuss about something or other.
Yeah.
Sure. No, Harish, yeah, please tell me, you're saying something? Or you just came in? Yeah, we started around at 10 o'clock, dude. We Tarun has shared a story, Parvez has shared a story, Kamna has shared a story, I did share a story, so you did miss out a bit. If you've got a story, we're all open. We're all ears. Do you have a story to share, Harish? Or you've got anything to talk about? Oh, this group is all about sharing horror stories. This is more like a virtual fire camp. We sit around the fire. There's no fire. Just imagine you're sitting around a fire camp with your friends and just sharing horror stories. or we're just discussing about devils, ghosts, possessions, all such kind of stuff, crazy stuff. Okay, then let's open it. Then let's talk about anything. So, have you guys seen Hereditary? Has anyone seen Hereditary movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
only the last part is scary for me.
There are a couple of scenes, dude. The one where the girl's head knocks out, right? That is one scary scene.
Yeah, but the ending was like it's an epic for me. It was lovely.
It's
The ending was.
it's too gore. It's horror and too gore at the same time.
Have you seen
Oh.
Rings? Rings, a 2017
Yeah.
movie, Rings.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
it's a
are
scary one.
3 parts. It's a movie series.
Yeah, Ring 1, Ring 2, Ring 3, and Rings 4 is the fourth part, I guess.
Yeah.
So did you guys watch Wrong Turn or Final Destination?
Yeah,
That's a gore.
complete
It's not
gore.
good, but somewhat case with that.
For Wrong Turn is into cannibalism, and Final Destination is more into gore
Unexpected
and
incidents.
every time I stand on an escalator, that's the first thing that comes into my mind. Final Destination movie. Do you guys remember the scene in Final Destination 4, I guess? A shoelace gets tangled in an escalator and the entire body gets pulled into the escalator.
Yeah. It's an exhibition. Not. It's in a mall.
It's in a mall. Every time I go to a mall, I always look at my shoes, whether my laces are open or not. That stayed with me the entire time. Even now, if I go to a mall, I look down once when I get onto an escalator. I look down once at my shoes just to make sure that my laces are not off.
That's a scene, I think I don't know which movie it is. The Golden Bridge is broken from that movie, and everyone is falling down. I think it's Final Destination.
That's 5, I guess.
Last
4 or
part.
5, yeah.
Last part. The last part.
Yeah, that is also somewhat.
Did you guys? It's not a horror movie, but I want to share a movie here. Did you guys watch this Matrix?
The latest one.
No, I'm asking this general. Like, did you
The first
guys
one.
watch the movie? Yeah, first one or the last one was waste, but previous 3 were too good.
Matrix Reloaded.
I think he's saying the first Matrix.
Yeah,
The first
we have
one.
No,
seen.
Talking of the concept, the theory of matter.
Theory of matter. What is it? I don't remember. I am not.
There is a theory. It's not the digital thing, but yeah.
It's AI controlling the humans. So AI has reached to some point where it is controlling humans. It is Matrix. So humans go into some. So what it tells is, this all we live in is an illusion. This is controlled by AI. So that's what the movie is about.
Okay, then we are coming to the end of the meeting, guys. So thank you guys for joining. So I mean, there's no good story to end. Maybe next time we'll all have a story, but I hope you're all okay if I put this on on my YouTube video. I'll be sharing the link as well. So I've started a new. I just created a new channel this afternoon called Saturday Night Scary Stories or Spooky Stories, whatever. So hopefully I'll try to upload this entire one. I'll just edit it. I'll just remove a couple of the initial bits where we were just trying to introduce and all the stuff. So whatever it doesn't make sense. So I guess you're all okay with it. Just take your consent on that.
Completely.
Definitely.
And thanks a lot for the session. Like, it was really great.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you so much. And thank you for pushing me onto creating this new link, man. So I'll try to make it every other Saturday. So I want to make it twice a month. I don't want to make it redundant, having one every Saturday. So hope to see you guys again on the next Saturday. When is it? Next to next Saturday, which is again on 1st of April.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. By the time, I hope you'll have some more stories to share, and we'll have new people joining, and we might have new stories. So since this is the first session, we're all kind of in our own zone. So once we get into our zone, so once we start knowing each other, we'll open up, and then we can share our story. We can share our stories more. Again, thank you guys for joining. Thank you for making the first event successful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.